Dear God, why is that thing so huge?
That's what she said.
Oh. Anime is pretty well known for being extraordinarily over the top. Whether it's food, emotion, or, I don't know, rock, paper, scissors, you already know it's gonna be freaking epic. And when it comes to weapons in anime, there's no exception. It's the exact same. But then the question is, why? It's impractical and unnecessary, right? But after doing some research, I think I've come to a reasonable conclusion. And the answer might surprise you. As I mentioned before earlier in this video, anime is known for being excessive, extravagant, just extreme, just over the top. It's known for enhancing emotion. And when you stop and think about it, it actually starts making a lot of sense. For example, why do anime characters have such gigantic eyes? It's because it's easier to draw or show or express emotion when that's the case. This in turn will hopefully make it easier to draw the emotion out of the viewer. So what does that have to do with the weapons exactly? Last time I checked, your sword being the size of a school bus was a bit unnecessary. While there are a bunch of other contributing factors that we'll get to here in a moment, let me put it to you simply. Big equals powerful and flashy. Flashy equals cool, so therefore a big equals cool and powerful. Cool and powerful are two key elements when it comes to shonen, so of course they're gonna make their weapons gigantic and powerful. So what the logic is, the bigger and more extravagant the show and the story and the characters and everything involved, the bigger and hopefully more extravagant the emotional response and or feelings that are created within the viewer. So in that aspect, it makes sense, but there are also a few other contributing factors. Number one, you can do more art-wise with a bigger weapon. Let me show you what I'm talking about. What looks more impressive, this or this? The second one, right? It looks fundamentally cooler and more just epic. I mean, come on, you can't deny that. What about another example, this time with guns? This or this? I feel like the freaking the Blu-ray commercial, like back in the day, if you remember that, it was like a lighter and then an explosion, that kind of stuff. But the same concept applies, okay? Bigger, flashier, more powerful, cooler. End the story. The sword, giant gun, massive weapon, whatever you want to call it, can also be a physical representation, or rather a physical manifestation of a character's power and or potential power. The power to yield these massive weapons also puts into perspective how powerful or how great or amazing that our heroes and protagonists are. Let's go back to Lily and the Buster Mom for a second. Now, I'm gonna warn you, I'm gonna go full on film theory here for a second, alright? I did not do any of the calculations. A friend of mine who is a chemical engineering major helped me out with this, so shout outs to him, he's an awesome dude. But according to him, the blade is 3 times his height, which is around 5.715 meters. The average width of the blade appears to be about half his height, which is 0.9525 meters, and the thickness of the blade is about 1/3 its width, which is 0.3175 meters. Assuming the blade is made out of solid steel, this gives the blade a total volume of approximately 1.728 cubic meters. And in total, that would weigh about 13,913 kilograms, or nearly 14 metric tons of solid steel. Assuming the center of mass of the blade is about halfway up but rounded down a tiny bit because of the blade tapering off, we can assume that the center of mass is around 4.5 meters from the base, which is where he holds it. Now, he actually went back and calculated it in a more accurate way, apparently. Look, guys, I'm not Senku, okay, not Lelouch. I'm not a science guy, okay? I'm just reading the numbers to you, so I'm sorry if it's wrong, but like, it seems legit. So the new mass that he came up with is about 13,580 kilograms. He lists its rotational inertia at about 275,089 kilograms cubed to the power of 2? Give me a break here, guys. Given a reasonable standard cutting speed of a sword's blade at 70 kilometers an hour, or about 20 meters per second, and observing that he swings the blade and gets it up to that speed in about a second, and after throwing in and doing a bunch of other physicsy, science-related calculations, in total it would require about 5,614,400 newtons of force, which is comparable to a car hitting a wall, going 60 miles per hour. And then multiplying that by 11. So you could say the force required to yield a sword of that size would be a crap ton. You see that? You see how now he seems a lot more powerful? That's what they're going for. You can even use Asta as an example, okay? He's a short, screaming weirdo, at least at the beginning of Black Clover. I haven't seen very much of it, but his sword is massive, and it shows his potential and how amazing that he eventually will become. Same with Maka and Soul, Ichigo, etc. And it doesn't even have to be the protagonist. If a side character has a gigantic weapon and you already know how powerful they are, well dang, the main character is gonna be that much more epic. So yeah, anime weapons are gigantic, and with good reason, and honestly, if they weren't big and obnoxious and honestly kinda crazy, it just wouldn't be the same. And if you, like me, have a ton of questions regarding the interesting and kind of strange aspects of anime, make sure to smash that like button down below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already to see more awesome content like this, and if you want to know why there are still flip phones in anime when it's, what, 2021? Dear God, make sure to check out this video right up there. Thank you so much for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!